You're listening to Bro Down Podcast all fucking day. Oh, yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bro Down Podcast. I'm Andy Smith.
And I'm a cardboard cutout, and this is Fight Recap. We're going to be going over the UFC Fight Night 176, Overeem versus Harris, because
Yeah.
UFC is in full swing again, kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of. I like it, man. I like the fact that they're doing it as safely as possible.
Yeah, I know. Real quick before we get into the fights, you know what's weird? They had 3 fights in 8 days, and we're not getting another one until June 6th.
Really?
Yeah. And it's going to be a pay-per-view. Unless they pull something like they did last time and they just quickly throw matches together and they just haven't announced them yet. That might be a possibility.
I guess it's 2 weeks without fight, or I guess 3 weeks without fights. It might be because they had an opportunity in Jacksonville to set these up real quick, and maybe they were only allowed to do it at that venue for that. I don't know, but
maybe they were just trying to pump out as many as they can.
Yeah, I'm glad that they did that. I mean, all these fighters too, they got to prep and everything, and they got to schedule it all. So maybe they just they're doing it. Maybe they're going to do that thing where they just pump out like 3 or 4 in 2 weeks, and then take a break for 2 or 3 weeks.
No, that's not a bad idea because it seems like everyone, like the whole crew, was down there for the entire week, and like no one went anywhere. So maybe that's how they're handling it. Maybe
that's what I'm saying. Like all these guys got to like put their shit aside, get on, leave their families, and quarantine and all that. So maybe it's a better way to do it.
Yeah, actually, that's really smart. Now that we're talking this out.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it.
Okay, so the first fight up that we had was Matt Brown versus Miguel Beza. It was funny because my one buddy was putting in like $5 bets on the one of those betting apps, and he kept asking me like who to bet on. I said, listen, dude, I'm like, number one, don't bet on anybody that I like. Because, don't take my advice on anyone I like, because I'm like, it skews the shit out of my fucking odds. But then I said, just let me know what the odds are, and I'll let you know if it's a good bet to take. And he told me that Matt Brown was a big underdog in this. I was like, dude, you can't ever count Matt Brown out. I'm like, that dude's a savage. So when the fight started, Matt Brown almost finished him in the first round. Yeah. And he got cocky and then got caught himself. And I was like, oh, shit. And then, he was just getting pieced up. I mean, Matt Brown's almost 40 years old. I think Miguel was 27. So
he's young.
Yeah, it was just for Matt to have that kind of performance against such a young, talented dude. I thought it was pretty impressive. It's not like he got blown out of the water. I mean, he almost finished the guy. So, but it was a little shitty to see Matt get stopped like that. I mean, when I saw the replay though, the guy missed with the follow-up punch, and I was just like, oh, thank God. Like, because I thought he went out cold, but he didn't. He got knocked down. He was definitely on Queer Street, but he was not out cold. So, yeah, my buddy lost that bet. But like you said before, though, it was cool to see such a young guy beat a legend like Matt Brown and be completely humble about it.
Yeah, it's funny because they were talking about him before. I forget which announcer said it, but they were talking about him and how he is like not just humble, but like he's shy about his own skill. They were saying that if you interview him, he down talks himself, not in like a polite way, like in a like I suck, like I can't believe like they're making me fight, like I'm not gonna win this kind of thing. And like it was to the point where whoever was interviewing was like, dude, you gotta like give yourself some props here. And he's undefeated. So like when he was like humble after the fact, I think it was like him being surprised he could actually do it more than anything else.
Well, it's refreshing though. Because go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is refreshing because every other guy is basically coming out being like, I'm the best. I'm going to be a world champion and no one can stop me. Here's this guy like kicking rocks being like, I suck. I'm going to fail.
Yeah, it's crazy how people have different approaches to it. It's almost like some guys have to convince themselves that they're good, whereas this guy, I mean, maybe he's saying that because it takes the pressure off of him.
Yeah, maybe.
Because like if you it's like almost like Babe Ruth pointing to the back stands like he's going to hit a home run. It's like, now you better hit one. But if you don't say that, it's like if you hit a home run, it's like cool. But there's no pressure to hit the home run.
Yeah, yeah. There's no pressure, but I mean, you're still fighting.
Yeah, exactly. No, but you know what I'm saying. It's added pressure, but
yeah,
it was really cool to see a young guy like that, especially with a guy like Matt Brown to throw him some respect. So it was a cool fight.
It was definitely main card worthy, even though it wasn't on it. It was a good fight.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think. That's why they put it the last card on the prelims
Yeah.
for everyone that doesn't have a ESPN Fight Pass. But all right, next up we had Song Yadong versus Marlon Vera, and this is where it started getting weird. Okay, so I don't know how much you were like. I know you said you were watching the fights and you had some other stuff going on, so you weren't really like scoring them until like later in the card. But Song Yadong did not. I don't think he won this fight. Like it was one of those where I was pretty much watching most of this fight. I wasn't too distracted through it. Yeah. But again, like sometimes when you're watching the fight, you're forgetting to score it because you're just trying to watch the fight.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing where like if you don't go in with that agenda, it's hard to tell sometimes. But this was one of those ones where Song Yadong did not think he won. Marlon Vera was very confident that he won. And usually, everyone's confident that they won. But this was pretty, in my opinion, I was like, oh, this is kind of an easy one to judge. And they gave it to Song Yadong, I think, unanimously.
Yeah, it wasn't a split decision. It was a unanimous thing. So all three judges disagreed with like the rest of the nation. And
I was just like, wait a minute. I'm like, that's fucked up. I'm like, who are these judges? And I didn't hear the names of the judges. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, it was to the point where it was almost like I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was that bad. Like, even through when the next fight started, I'm like, I hope this isn't like, is going to be like what is to come for all the decisions on the rest of this card. Boy, was I right or wrong. So yeah, it was a great performance because I think Song Yadong is a 22-year-old, he's a really hot prospect and all this stuff. And Marlon Vera was a pretty big underdog. So, I don't know what the judges were looking at, but they weren't looking at what I was looking at. I'd have to go back and rewatch the fight just to make sure, but I did not think that Song Yadong won that fight.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. This was one of the fights that I was like popping in and out, so I didn't like stare at the screen the entire time. Mm-hmm. But from what I did see, you're right. Song Yadong did not win that match by any clear margin whatsoever. So
no,
this is like the time old tale. Like, what the fuck are the judges talking about?
Yeah, it was closely contested, and the issue that I had was with the I think Marlon Vera took him down, if this is the fight I'm remembering correctly, like several times. And it was a pretty even, a couple rounds that were pretty even, if not Vera had been getting the better. But with the takedowns, it's like that counts. And these judges have to understand that counts. Like, it counts. It's part of the sport. So, yeah. Any other final thoughts on this fight?
Nope. Next.
Next. We had Dan Ige versus Edson Barbosa. Another one. What the fuck?
Another one.
DJ Khaled up in this bitch. So Edson, I thought, clearly won that fight. Even the announcers were saying like he's up 2-0, like pretty handedly. And in the third round, it was pretty close, but then Dan got a takedown and didn't really do much with it. And Edson basically was so confident that he won the first 2 rounds, he kind of just wrote it out.
Yeah.
And then,
which makes sense because if you're on your feet, if you're confident you won the first 2 rounds, you're not going to be. You don't want to risk getting a knockout. Yeah, you could be tapped out when you're on the ground, but Barbosa is so good that with his defense that I don't think that was really an issue for him. So if he was able to stall as long as he could, that's absolutely a fair tactic.
Yeah, and there wasn't that much time left in the round, and it was a pretty competitive round too. It wasn't like he was getting blown out or anything like that, but I thought Edson clearly got the better of Dan in the first 2 rounds. I thought it was very clear, in pretty much in all aspects.
Yeah.
And when they read the cards, I was like, I think this one a split decision?
Yeah, I know Angela Hills was a split decision. I think this one might have been. I can't remember.
This one might have been unanimous as well. I can't remember, but I just remember being like, "What the fuck?" And I texted my one buddy. I'm like, "What is going on with these judges?" I'm like, "This is ridiculous." Like, what were they watching? And there's no crowd. There's no anything other distractions in there. Like, get the fuck off Candy Crush and pay attention to the fights. I just,
it really does make you wonder, like, what they're watching. Like, are they truly watching the entire match the entire time? Is it like the angle that fucks them up? Like, do they not get to see everything, and that's the problem?
First of all, it's Florida. No. I'm just kidding. But the thing is with these judges, I think it's just it's an incompetence thing. They don't know. They don't know what they're watching, and they don't know how to judge what they're watching. So they're basically looking at it like, I don't know how to score this fight, so I'm just I'm gonna based off of what I know, and that might be boxing or whatever. But it was just I don't know. I have nothing good to say about the judging on last night's card. Nothing at all. So
from an entertainment point of view, this was an excellent fight.
But
you're right. It was disappointing, the outcome.
Yeah, and you could say don't leave it in the hands of the judges. Well, it's hard to finish every fucking fight.
Dude, if it was that easy, it's not that easy.
No. So yeah, this was, and you think about all the time, and especially with everything going on, like to win a thing where even the commentators, who I believe everyone but one of the commentators is a professional fighter. Like Michael Bisping was a world champ. Paul Felder is top contender. Like, they know what they're watching, and they were basically saying like Edson is walking away with this, and then they have to now pretend when they go in there, because the only person that like I think would call it out would be probably Rogan, but now they have to go in there and just basically interview the guy and not say like this is bullshit, because they don't want to steal his thunder, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want to make him feel bad for something that wasn't his fault.
Yeah, and then moving on, we had Claudia Gadelha versus Angela Hill.
Do you know what was weird about this match?
What?
The judges didn't score this properly.
Oh, I know. So strange for this card for the judges to fuck it up.
Again.
Like, I didn't see a lot of the early prelims or the early ones on the card. Like, I wasn't paying attention enough to have a complaint about those.
Yeah.
But for these, it was like, what is going on here? And then they got the split decision, and excuse me, it was like, what? Like, I don't understand what the fuck is happening. Like, I don't know. I would like to go back and see if they use all the same 3 judges or they use different judges for each fight. I don't know. But it was, I don't know. I have no words. I have no words for any of these. They got 3 of them wrong.
Yeah. How can you do that?
I don't know.
And when there's 3 judges, one of them was a split decision. All right. So at least one person had it right in our eyes. But that means 8 times out of 9, they've decided this wrong.
Yeah. I mean, there's some fights that are so close that you're like, okay, like, I get it. Like, some guys thought he edged him in this round, the other guy edged him in that round. But there's been fights where, one guy clearly wins one round and 2 judges have it the other way. And you're like, how did both of those guys see that way?
Yeah.
Like, maybe we should have 5 judges or something.
Dude,
so that way, if there's one guy that differs, it's like you have to now go and explain yourself. Like, just give him the microphone.
We've talked about this before. I'd rather see more competent judges than have just more people, because 100%. I think you're just going to be amplifying the problem. I think you're going to have 5 people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
100%, dude. So now let's move on to the final round where we didn't need the judges. Alistair Overeem versus Walt Harris.
Dude, now, this was an emotional roller coaster.
Bro.
First off, what an amazing fight.
Dude, okay, so let's start off from the beginning here. This is Walt Harris's first comeback fight since the tragic loss of his stepdaughter. Everything leading up to this, everything that they were showing, it like really like I was watching it, and like people that don't watch fights, like were getting him, like basically like everyone was like, let's not talk. Like, nobody talk. Like, we're gonna listen to what's going. Like, it was like a drama TV series type of like thing where like they're watching a documentary on some serious shit, which is crazy because it's MMA. Yeah, it was a captivating thing for all the right and wrong reasons because it was a tragic thing. But I'm glad that it's getting attention put on it, and at least his story is getting out there, and he's able to express himself, because a lot of this stuff, when it happens, a lot of times, like, nobody knows about it. Nobody hears about it. It's like, you kind of feel like maybe the person's getting forgotten about. And this was like the perfect platform to basically like, put his story out there, and just so that like people know it and they know what kind of a person she was and all that stuff. I thought they did a really good job. like honoring her throughout the whole card.
Yeah, I agree. I think they highlighted it enough. They gave it everyone's like a huge amount of respect. Um, and it was somehow like the focus, but not the focus at the same time. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that they gave it its due diligence. It was nice to see. And then when it was time for the fights, we were there for the fights.
Yeah. It was I think it was like the perfect amount of like everyone handled it perfectly. Like
Yeah.
there was it was just spectacular. So another thing I thought was fucking awesome is Alistair Overeem, the Demolition Man, known for being like nice guy, you know, has had his beefs with guys in the past and everything like that. But when the fight started, he walked over to Harris when he walked in the cage and gave him a hug.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like to see that, like two guys that are heavyweights that are probably could both knock out a horse are about to just throw down in a cage, and they're basically like Overeem's basically like giving him a hug, showing like a huge sign of respect for him, just even going in the cage after all that stuff happened. So I thought that was really cool to see because you don't see that very often, like just randomly guys going and hugging everything like that. Like it was such a weird, surreal thing that everyone knew the gravity of Walt Harris's return, and nobody was taking it lightly, including the guy he was about to fight.
Yeah, you're right. It is kind of weird in like a nice way to see like two monsters of human beings hugging it out, and then immediately afterwards being like, "All right, let's beat the shit out of each other."
Yeah. And I think it would probably be extremely therapeutic for Walt Harris to go through this and continue his career. So
yeah,
first round, fucking Alistair Overeem, first of all. Walt Harris impressed me with how he handled himself through most of this fight. But goddamn, Alistair Overeem scares the shit out of me every time he fights because as soon as he gets touched, he usually goes down. And I thought he was going to get knocked out. Like I literally was going, no, the whole time after Walt caught him and he was on the ground because most of those shots back in the day would have just put him out. And he fucking crafty veteran just figured out a way to hold on and hang in there, and he made it through.
yeah, dude. This is one of those instances. Like, part of me, because I wanted Harris to win, so like I was doing the reverse of you. I was yelling, "Call it! Call it! Call it! Call it!" Like I wanted the ref to stop the match so bad, even though it would have clearly been too early. But you're
Yeah.
right. Overeem, he had like this beautiful like stand up. Like he like timed it. I can't describe it, but he got up perfectly, and from there on, it was his match.
Yeah, he's probably one of the most experienced fighters in the UFC, and not only is he probably the best striker in the heavyweight division, if not one of the top strikers, and he has been for years. Like K1 level kickboxing, like he's so crafty the way that he like picks up on tells, you know, sets up his shots, and he's also like a fucking awesome grappler. Like he knows how to, like his takedown defense is awesome, and he knows how to get up. And the way that he got up, it was, you know, obviously he's in the fire, right? He's got thrown right into the fire in that fight. And the best thing that could have happened was he took Harris's back and he got him down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and someone was saying that early on. I think it was Bisping. He was saying that if Overeem was going to win this fight, it was going to be on the ground. So he said that if he was Overeem, his strategy would be to find a way to get him to the ground as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Which he ended up being right about. I mean, he got him to the ground by kicking him in the face.
Yeah.
But he got him to the ground anyway.
Yeah. I thought when the second round started, I'm like, okay, Harris is really tired.
That's
like,
what I thought too.
Just from being that big of a human being and thinking that you had Overeem hurt and you dumped a lot of your gas tank trying to finish him, and then he doesn't get finished. And then now he's on top of you and he's just smothering you, hitting you, not letting you breathe, allowing you to get kind of up and then dragging you back down, making you go back up. Like Overeem played that perfectly with trying to get him exhausted, right? He'd let him get up a little bit and then pull him back down. Let him get up a little bit, pull him back down. And then in the second round, you know, Walt was a little, you know, he gained a little bit, but after the first exchange, he took like a real deep breath. And I was like, Overeem should shoot for a takedown here. Like he should shoot for a takedown because he clearly has the grappling advantage.
Yeah.
And then when he hit him with that head kick and got him to the ground, I was like, oh shit. But then something that was like very not Overeem like happened. And I have a tremendous amount of respect, and I'm going off my gut feeling on this. every other time, if Overeem has somebody in the position that he had Walt Harris in the second round, you're losing childhood memories. He's gonna cave your fucking head in, and he didn't do that to Walt Harris. Like, he basically got into a dominant position, and everyone's like, "Oh, there's no need to, to do that." But it's a fight. Anything can happen. Walt could have sprawled and got back up. Just it has happened, and then Overeem gets knocked out. But if you look at that, the end of that fight when he's got him fully mounted on the back and he's got him sprawled out, and there's like 2 or 3 minutes left in the fight, he's hitting him, but he can unload. Overeem wasn't really breathing that heavy, and he's just like hitting him enough to keep him there until the ref basically calls it. It was a huge risk, in my opinion, to just hit him enough to just wait for the ref, because it went on for a while.
That was my thought too. I think it went on longer than Overeem anticipated too.
Yeah.
Because I thought that it probably should have been called a little bit earlier because Harris was defending himself, but that's all he could do. All he could do was put up his arms and like wait for which direction the punch was coming from.
Yeah, there had to be like 25 unanswered blows.
Yeah, exactly. So how long can you do that before you call the match? I thought it was a little bit too long. Not that he was taking like you said, he wasn't taking a tremendous amount of damage, but like Overeem would give him like a couple head strikes and like look around and be like, dude.
Yeah. And it was, and the thing is too, is that it was in one of the worst positions. It's not like he had him turtled up or something where he had him sprawled out with his hooks in. Like, that's one of the worst positions to be in. And
especially with a 250-pound man on your back.
Yeah.
Like,
and he wasn't doing anything. He was exhausted, dude. Like, he was caught in a bad position. And Overeem, like, the only reason he didn't take tremendous amounts of damage was because Overeem was, I think, from what it looked like to me, he was pulling his punches. He was going lighter so that he didn't have to just cave this guy's head in who just had everything he knew what he went through. And he was basically he was risking his own health and safety and victory by not just putting a fucking hammer down on this dude. Like, that's what it looked like to me, is that he was basically doing it as a sign of like respect, of being like, listen, I'm not going to just destroy this guy here after everything that happened. So I'm just going to do enough to get the stoppage.
Yeah. I don't know if that's correct, but I like the theory, so I'm fucking going with it too.
Well, like I said, dude, I've seen most of Alistair's fights, almost all his fights. And every other time he has somebody in that position, he is breaking your fucking skull. He is whipping shots in there to end your fucking life, or to get you to go unconscious. And what he was doing with Walt, he had him, you could tell he wasn't really torquing the punches. He was just doing enough to where they were effective. They were powerful punches. I'm sure they hurt like a motherfucker, but it wasn't the kind of punches that Overeem, I don't think, would have normally thrown. And as soon as they called the fight, no celebration. Immediately just, embraced Walt, had some words with him, and then after saw he was okay and everything, then he got up. So, yeah, it was a very interesting fight. It was definitely emotional to see Walt not win. And what did you think about the end of the fight?
I mean, basically you covered it pretty nicely. Overeem was absolutely dominant in that second round. Harris spent the first part of it basically trying to recover. The second he was on the ground, I knew he was too tired. When he got the hooks in, that was it. You knew that was it. Harris wasn't even getting up before that, because like I said before, like Overeem is just such a big dude. It's so hard to it's hard to get up when someone's on your back as is. When you have a 250-pound man on your back, it's that much more difficult. So when he threw that first leg in, I'm like, oh no. And then he got the second one in and sprawled him out. That's when you knew it was done. Harris just didn't have a response to it. He didn't have an ability to get up. And there was way, way too much time on the clock for him to recover.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why I thought it went on just like a little bit too long. Because it was like 20 minutes of head strikes.
The referee gave Walt Harris as much opportunity as I've ever seen given to a fighter to get out of a position. It was given to Walt Harris. And I think a lot of it had to do with everything going into this fight, because any other fight, I think that fight would have been stopped more so when you thought it should have been stopped, and I thought it should have been stopped. But given the gravity of everything that happened, I think he wanted to give him every opportunity to get out of there.
Yeah.
But just as like a human being, like what did you think about that fight? Like at the end, like what were your thoughts when Walt? Because here's the thing, I'm a fucking Overeem fan, right? I know
Yeah.
Walt Harris a little bit from just his stint in the UFC, but I've been a fan of Overeem for years. But it was so hard to root for Overeem in this fight.
Yeah, I was definitely rooting for Harris. I'm not
Yeah,
necessarily an Overeem fan. Like, I don't know Overeem from Harris really.
yeah,
I'd seen Overeem fight, but maybe like once, maybe twice.
yeah,
So between the two guys, like I was definitely emotionally, I was like definitely behind Harris 100%. It kind of sucked to see him lose, but at
yeah.
the same time, it is what it is. They were both looking good. Harris took a ton of damage. He wears damage really well. He did
Mm,
not look bruised and battered. What you would expect someone to come out of a fight like
no,
that looking like.
Overeem was all chewed up. He had a bunch of cuts on his face, and his eyebrow was all chewed up too.
Well,
Uh,
for a half a second, I thought they were going to stop because of that. His
yeah,
when he got up, the cut was pretty bad, dude. It was
yeah.
bad.
It wasn't going into his eye, which is the
Yeah.
main concern at that point. What did you think about Walt Harris's speech afterwards?
I have trouble watching those things, so I paused it and then I turned on Family Guy.
Okay. Yeah, he basically thanked everybody that helped him through all the times, and his community, his coaches, the UFC said that they were phenomenal throughout the whole thing. And he said, like, this isn't going to get me deterred. Like, I'm going to be back, which I think was like it almost, not that it made it okay, but it made it easier to watch him lose, saying that afterwards. Like, he wasn't saying like, I got to go back and think about things and maybe I'm going to do this. Like, he was like, no, this is what I'm doing. Like, this isn't going to deter me. Like, it doesn't matter that I lost, kind of a thing. Like, I'm going to come back. I'm going to be better.
Yeah, he's down, but he's not out. And you know what? I'm excited to have another high-level fighter in the heavyweight division. I like throwing new names in there just to like spice things up a little bit. So I'm excited to have him back. I can't wait to see him fight again. That's the
Yeah.
moral of my story.
Yeah. So yeah, any final thoughts on this?
I'm happy UFC is back. I hope they pull something out of their ass and we don't have to wait till June 6th for another fight. But if that has to be the case, that has to be the case.
Yeah, I agree. I hope they pull a rabbit out of the hat. I just hope that either it's not in Florida with these judges, or it's in Florida without these judges. So
Next time it might be Fight Island, wherever the fuck that is.
yeah, it's like a big secret.
Yeah, it is a big secret.
Yeah, Fight Island. It's like Dr. Monroe's Island. There's going to be doing all kinds of experiments out there.
That's where they make the Overeems. There's a whole bunch of Overeem test tube babies going around right now.
Dude, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. So, all right, man, why don't you talk us out?
All right, guys, let us know what you thought of this past weekend's fights in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that little bell notification so you make sure you get all of our videos. Last but not least, go to brodownpro.com for all your cool-ass bro down gear. You can wear or see us wearing some of that shit right now, even my beautiful cardboard copycat.
Dude, when I was talking before, I was staring intensely into your cardboard eyes.
Dude, I can't wait to rip that motherfucker's head off and take the seat. I can't wait. I think that about wraps us up. We'll catch you guys next time.
Later, bitches.
You're listening to Bro Down Podcast all fucking day. Oh,